possible, because what we are going to do, especially at the beginning and during the show, I'm going to read some faces. So when I read faces, I'm going to see a person's face and I'm going to read his face. So many people that participate will enjoy the actual face reading. So as we start, who is the first one to have the courage to put his hand up or her hand up to be read? Okay, I'm starting with you, Edwin. I'm putting your face up. Wait, pen. Okay, so can you just for a second take off your glasses and then you can put them back? Okay, you can put them back. You can put your glasses back, Edwin. Um, and so I'm going to start reading your face, and then you'll just say where you from, and it'll be great to hear a few words about you. So if I'm looking at you, Edwin, first of all, I see that you are a person that is very, very on top of things. What do I mean of being on top of things? I mean that you like know everything that's going on. You like you have like nose for news. You always on top of things. I think even in new things, you always like to be engaged and knowing what's happening around you. You try and be as accurate as possible in whatever you do. So what does it mean? So when you do something, you go all the way in. You're not a person who does things very lightly. You know how to say yes to people, and then you do what you like. Like you don't go into a confrontation. You know exactly how to communicate with people. You have to know the reasons for things. Everything has a reason for it, and it's very important for you reasoning. You also have a very important you don't compromise on quality. You try and be as whatever you do is very, very, very articulate, very accurate. You do have a great sense a capability of talking, and you are a person who don't compromise on quality. When you do something, it has to be perfect. What do you say, Edwin?
Ethan, thank you very much. I would say that 90% of this is accurately true about me. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm just curious what you did not
Yes.
notice about me.
What did I miss? I might have missed something, but that's what I saw. That's what I saw. That's what I
Mhm.
saw. Lots of leadership and being exactly the nose for news is something very, very big with you. Where are you from, Edwin?
Yes, I'm from Singapore, and this
Oh,
is the first time I'm meeting you online. I see you very actively participating. You are recruiting members and announcing people. I'm a relatively old but very quiet VSAI member.
great. So it's great to see you. And I advise you to do things because then it'll give you more because when you give, you get more, and you are a very, very helpful person. You love helping people. So thank you for saying that. Who else wants to come up? We okay, Belinda. Wait, replace pin. Okay, Belinda. Yes. So first of all, what do I see in you, Belinda? Um, uh, you have the ability. The first thing that I see, which is very, very powerful, is you have the ability to look 10 steps ahead. So, so how do we? I'm going to start giving few tips about people as we go along, also explaining things about that. How do I know that a person looks 10 steps ahead? The higher the forehead is, the longer the forehead is. It's usually people that do have the ability to look a couple steps ahead. You do think out of the box completely. If there's a box, you think out of the box. Um, when you love a topic, you go all the way in. You go all the way and you learn and you study. You have a good listening ability. So first of all, you can and you're very good at listening to people. You also don't compromise on quality, and you see mistakes from a kilometer. You are very sharp. You do see, uh, and look what is happening. Yeah, What is the folding? Well, Eitan is telling right things about me and how I'm holding it. I'm closing in because he's right. That's else until you get the right design, the right topic that you handle, you will do over and over again. You like a perfectionist. Everything has to be perfect, and you don't compromise whatsoever. When you write, when we talk, when you do things, it's very every word has a target. You don't say words just for the sake of saying. Every word has an accuracy, and you're a good speaker, I'm sure, but every word has a point. I'd say every written word has a very important word.
Thank you. That's quite accurate. Yes. Every
And
word has
Belinda,
poundage.
thank you. And you from Australia,
Correct. It's 8 p.m. here.
8 p.m. here. By the way, I have to say something about Belinda. I was in Cairns during the big summit, and it was very problematic getting back. I haven't spoken about myself yet, but getting back to Israel. And Belinda wanted to do many things for me, and I'm very, very grateful for thinking about me and trying to help me. So it's my opportunity. Thank you to thank you. Okay, let's have another two. We have time. We have until okay, Nancy. Nancy, yeah. Okay. Um, so first of all, Nancy, it's a pleasure to meet you. I know that we live in the same country, but we both come from different countries. I come from South Africa, and Nancy, you are from the States, or
Yes, from the
yeah.
US.
Yeah. So what do I see about Nancy? And I want you people, I want to give some tips what we can see. Not only that Nancy, you look marvelous and beautiful, your face features are very, very, everything is in place. And not only in place, it's very, very sharp. Usually people that have very sharp features are very meticulous. They are very accurate. Everything that they do is very, very, very accurate. Can you just take a second, the glasses off just for a second? Okay, you can put your glasses back. You can put the glasses back. You do love adventures, you love action, you love when things are happening. You cannot be a person that does nothing. You all the time on the move. You are not only that you are people's person, you are very emotional. You use emotions a lot. You are very, very sensitive to people and to, for example, when you eat, you don't eat everything. You're very, meticulous about what you're eating because it can affect you. You do try and look at the bright side of life. You do try and look at the bright side of life, although you live in a very difficult country, but you do look at the positive side of life. Um, you are also a person that I see that you could be a great, great coach, great mentor in a way that you have the ability to raise people up, to lift them. You are in a person that lifts people up, and you do believe in us people. And when we talk about mistakes or seeing mistakes, you do see mistakes, but you don't spend time talking about other people's mistake. You try and see the good things in people.
True. I work in dementia care, so I'm all about people. Yeah.
Thank you. So, a few
Thank you.
words about you, Nancy, like a few words.
Yeah, I've worked in dementia care for many years. I work in a memory day center in Jerusalem, and I am constantly busy working in other kinds of fields, communication particularly. Um, and I'm a researcher as well. So I just completed my PhD from the University of Edinburgh. And
Wow.
yeah, thank you. So yeah, I'm always busy. Always love a challenge.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you very
Thank you. Thank
much.
you, Nancy. By the way, I want you to join. We have an Israeli VSAI group. So
Okay, great.
I'll
I
pitch you in.
will.
It's like
Please do.
great.
Thank you.
Who is the next? We'll have one more person now, but we during the session I'll try and do Yarbin, okay. Right. Okay. Yarbin, can you just take your glasses a second, a second? No, that's it. You can put them back. You can put them back. You can put your glasses back. So first of all, I say right, Yarbin. Is it right to say it? Or Yabin?
Ethan, just call me Yabi. Yabi, it's Yabi Jan. Call me Yabi.
Yabi. Okay,
Yeah.
Yabi. Okay, first of all, so when we talked about, if you look at Yabi's forehead, he's got a very high forehead. So we can always already say that Yabi looks 10 steps ahead. He has the ability to look 10 steps ahead. What else do we see? I see that Yabi is a very, in a person, he loves to help people. Money doesn't drive him, and it might be sad, might be happy. Money doesn't make you tick. That money doesn't make you do things. Money doesn't make you do things across the world. You do have a strong leadership ability. You do take upon yourself too much. You find it very difficult to say no to people. So people might use it, I don't know how we're able to, to lower it down. What else do I see? Lots of ideas all the time, new ideas. You bring in new ideas. Uh, you do have, you do take upon yourself far too much. You can give someone something to do, and you'll see that he's not doing it as well as you do it, and you take it upon yourself. So you take upon yourself a lot. Uh, you do keep inside a lot. You don't let people know how much. If you have difficult times or things, you don't let people know because you keep things inside, and you also think very much out of the box. Your ability to think out of the box, it's absolutely amazing how you actually thinking out of the box. And when you love a topic, you also go all the way, and you know how to say yes to people, and then you do what you think should be done, so that you don't go into fights a lot. Do you agree?
100%. Ethan,
Great,
this was
great,
the
great.
second time. This was the second time. I was thinking, I was curious whether it would differ, but it was exactly the same. So thank you for that, Ethan.
Thank
I
you.
see my good friend
Thank you.
Edwin also here, and it's great
Yeah.
being part of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So this was like a starter about what we are going to have this session. And first of all, thank you for joining the session. And I will analyze people along the way, but I do want to give you lots of information, teach you a few things, let you get things and enjoy things. And I love the participation. We have great, from all over the world. We have Jaslyn, who is from Barbados, and so we have people from Australia, from South Africa, from different places across the globe. So let's talk about and what. Let me show you the presentation, and from there we're going to actually learn some things. So first of all, imagine being able to read people like an open book. So we are going to talk about how to read people. I'm Eytan Segev, and we did some live reading. And what we are going to talk about is, before I say that, first of all, I'm Eytan Segev. I'm born in South Africa, and I've when I was 3, I came to Israel. When I turned 13, I went back to South Africa. I matriculated in South Africa. I've analyzed more than 100,000 faces. I have trained more than 6,000 students, especially in Israel, but also across the globe. I've given in the past 20 years more than 600 lectures, and I've been reading people for 20 years. 20 years. I've started just before I turned 40, and in 2 months I'll turn 60. So in my second part, yeah, second part of my life. That's my achievement of enjoying what I do. Um, Back to sharing. Uh, this is my amazing family that I had to show you. Also show you the color. Also show you the. So my wife is the youngest now. She's only 3 months younger than me, and she looks 15 years younger than me. This photo was taken about 3 years ago, where my second daughter, Romy, married Elijah, and they've given me a granddaughter. So I have a granddaughter who is a year and a half old. I have this my eldest daughter, Lynn, that she's traveled across the world for the past year and a half, and she's back in Israel. I have Yali, who is now serving in the army, and if you look at the youngster now, that he's taller than me now, he's 14 years old. He was born in Israel, but his parents are from Eritrea, and we are a foster family for 13 years. We are raising a Tarek his name, for 13 years, and it's a great for me to share with you this amazing boy, and he loves to play basketball, and everyone loves him. He's very talented. So that is my family, and let's learn a bit. So when we talk about communication, communication starts even before we meet. And what I mean by before we meet is that when when we meet people, we meet them on Zoom. We see their LinkedIn profile. We see what they do across the globe, across lectures and so on, and we already know a bit about these people. So we can actually understand a lot by just reading the face, reading the body motion, reading the bodies by watching even the way that the Zoom is showing the background of the Zoom, the everything tells us about a person, and we are going to learn quite a lot about people. So if we talk about people, I'm going to jump on and on, and I'm going to ask you questions across the way. So we're going to start now by first of all, your face is a brand, and today we will learn face reading and body language. So if we talk about history wise, um, the first people that have actually written about face reading and body language is we have Aristo. Aristo was Alexander Modon's tutor, mentor, teacher for a few years. He was the first one to write a book about face reading and body language. It was in Greece many years ago. We have in India Samudra Rishi, who has led in India the face reading, and in India when their people are being read, they also look for the day that you were born, the time that you were born, and that gives a lot about the person. And we have the Chinese who have been doing it for thousands of years. That the first written who says that he actually written the first book on face reading and body language was Gaiguchi. Gaiguchi. And what's interesting about Gaiguchi and what they say about the Chinese, they say that the Chinese have been teaching people and reading people for centuries. Yes, Edwin.
This person
Edwin?
is 龟姑子，龟姑子，
Hey,
龟姑子，姑子。
thank you. Kwei Gu Gute. I will learn to pronounce it not in the Western way. So thank you for tuning me in. Yeah, it's very important. But what the Chinese, first of all, the Chinese have developed a very powerful and strong face reading and body language techniques. And what's interesting about the Chinese that they actually, and I'll show you later, they have divided the face to 100 points. And every point in the face represents a year. We'll talk about it later. So that's about the Chinese. We will concentrate today on the Western part of face reading, the Western side. that will include also body language and face reading. And if we talk about the face is actually a map of communication. We have more than 43 facial muscles that create more than 10,000 possible expressions in the face. We have micro expressions. Micro expressions are small signs that we make that we do less than half a second that reveal what we feel, what we have. We have 7 universal micro emotions. Emotions across all cultures are the same. And we have more than 110 facial features that when we learn read the facial features, we will understand people much better. By the way, what we are here to learn is to observe, to identify, and to adjust. What I'm talking about here, and people ask me a lot, how can we learn so much information about face reading in such a short time? So my first aim in this lecture, in this masterclass, is that to spend more time watching people, watching their face motions, watching their faces, watching what they say, less time talking, because we spend so much time trying to deliver what we want to say. If we are lecturers, if we are selling something, the main topic is to actually listen. And when we listen to people, we actually observe, we identify, and then we adjust. If I know that a person in front of me, for example, we take a Jaslyn, who is very emotional, and so I will talk more emotionally. If I understand that Peter, for example, is more analytical, so when I try and convey him and tell him information, I'll give him more facts, more information. So when we talk about us reading people, the body motion, the face reading, all we are learning is to watch and to listen the person in front of us. And once we watch the person and we look at his face, we look at his features, we look at what he dresses. I mean, everything that he does tells a story about him. So that's what we are talking about now. We observe, we identify the features. If I see sharp features, another person is more accurate. If I see different features and body motion and body language, we can identify who is in front of us and adjust our message to the person. And we can actually learn to read people in less than 60 seconds. And if we look at the face, I've divided it to 3 parts. The top part of the face talks about strategy, the way the person thinks, the way his ideas come to him. And when he puts a hand on his head, it also tells something. When he's holding his head, it's also telling us something. But from the eyebrow up, the head tells us the way the person thinks. Is he creative? Is he more information? Does he take upon himself a lot? Is he doesn't have the patience? Does he push things forward very fast? That part of the head tells this story. The second part is the emotion. The middle part. The middle part is the emotion. And when I'm talking about the emotion, I'm talking about the things that make us act and react. And when we communicate, these are the major parts: our eyes, our ears, and even our nose. When we smell things, it's mainly when we talk about it, we talk about emotions. And when we talk about emotion and that middle part, I have a question for you, and you don't have to give an answer now because I'll explain it later, but just even write it down, because this question I'll ask later. Who is more emotional? A person who has small eyes or big eyes? Don't answer now. We'll talk about it later, but you can ask yourself a question. Who is emotional? A person who has small eyes or big eyes? A second question about who is a better listener? A person who has small ears or a person who has big ears? Okay, big ears versus small ears. Who is a bigger listener? It's very interesting things. And the third part that we are talking about, which it's the action. What I mean by the action, when we look at the bottom part of the face, it's when we actually pull out the words. We talk, we explain things, but when we talk about the action, face reading also talks about the way a person's the shape of his jaw, if it's rounded, if it's square, if it's circular, and the length. Also, the length also tells us a lot about the person. So here's when I said about the 100 facial points that the Chinese, so they start reading from the ears. It's the first 14 years of the person, from the top of the head. It's up to the eyebrows is the 14 till 28. From 28, 30 to 50, it's where our nose is. From 50 years to 70, 75 is our jaw, and across the whole of our face, it's 100 years. They also divide the face, the Chinese, which is interesting. They also divide it to 12 pillars, 12 pillars. And when we talk about the 12 pillars, they're talking about the 12 things that every person of us are most important to him. Our children is one pillar. How much help we'll get in life is one pillar. Our parents, our childhood, our career, everything in the face, the Chinese actually say that it tells about a person. And what's very, very interesting, you can actually see on the face if a person has been going through very, very difficult life or he has easy life. You can see on a person when is the best time of the year, his best time. Is it spring? Is it winter? Our face tells a story, and we are now going to actually learn things about the story that I'm telling. So now I'm going to teach you something that I spend every lecture talking about it, and it's very, very important. And do you want to know how you can actually spot stress in seconds? In seconds. And in this part of the chapter that we're going to talk about, I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you a picture of someone, and I'm going to ask you, and please write, does this person look like he's under pressure? Please write down. Does he look here? Is he under pressure or not? You can write down. Um, very much so. Lisa says. Yabi says yes. Nancy says yes. Yes, yes, yes. So by the way, in this picture, he is not under pressure. Of course, he's not eating well enough. You can see on his tongue that he's not eating enough vegetables. But in this picture, exactly, Sarubai, you are right. In this picture, he doesn't show that he's under tension. Actually, he's trying to show that he's taking control, he's leading the situation, he's very much in control of the situation. But if we look at the next picture, in this picture, does he look like he's under pressure? What do you say? Now you're scared to write. In this picture, yeah, in this picture, yes, of course, Peter, you're right. Yes, definitely. And how do we see that he's under pressure? First of all, is the way he's holding his head, the color of his face, but the main, most important thing to see, yes, it's a big contrast. The eyes are white, but the major thing for me to now show you is very, very important. If you look at this picture and you look at the eye at the eyes, now if your person is not looking above you and not below you, at your same height, and you see the white below the iris, I'm going to show you again. This is the eye. The eye includes the iris and the sclera. The sclera is the white part. If you look at a person straight ahead, not that he's looking down at you or up at you, when you see this white, okay, the white below the iris, I'm talking on the eye, on both sides, okay? White below the iris, this can be a very, very, very big signal that the person is under stress or he is not in his best time. So it means that he's under stress, and it's not something that is happening just a second. Now I'm under stress and that's it. It can also be the person is ill. It can also be ill, but it's very, very important because you are lecturers, most of you, and you also many of you work with people, help people. When you see this white, we're talking about the person that in the same level, that is not looking up or down at you, at the same level, and you see the whiteness below the iris, this can signal that he's been sick or is under stress. It's not something that happens 5 minutes. I wake up in the morning and I'm stressed. It's something that becomes throughout time. It takes time to become, but it's very, very powerful tool and knowledge to to look at it, and it's very important to teach you. By the way, the way to handle it is to understand when you're talking to someone, you can ask him, I understand that you are in some difficulties, you're having a very difficult time. Is there something that I can help? When when I lecture and I take lecture on body language and face reading, and I see it on my students, or I see it because I work with university students, and I see that I do take an extra notice, and I can adjust and talk to this person and try and see even how I can help him a bit. It's very, very important, and it's very, very strong tool to understand and to read. There is a Korean who is passed away, but he was a master of not only face reading but master of health. And he said that when he sees it on a person, that means that the person lacks vegetables and fruits. He doesn't eat enough. And he says that if you eat more fruit and more vegetables, it should improve. That's what he says. I don't know how true it is or not, but it's very, very important to understand that. And I have another picture to show you that this person that I'm showing you was the Prime Minister of Israel. His name was Olmert, and before he went to prison because he got into problems, he was very lots of under stress, and you could see the white below the iris. This white on the eye below the iris is a very, very powerful signal to know that the person is under stress. Now, I asked you early on who is more emotional and expresses himself more with emotion, a person with big eyes or small eyes? Who is more emotional? Who expresses more emotional? And we can make mistakes, but please write down big eyes. Yes, Belinda, you're right. Big eyes, indeed, Peter. When we talk about our children or our babies, when the first thing that we see their eyes, and they express them very, very much so. So if we look here at Hedry Hepburn, you can see that she has big eyes, and Clint Eastwood has actually small eyes. Now, people like me that have small eyes, it doesn't mean that we lack emotion and we're not emotional. It just means that we keep inside more. We don't show so much emotion. Okay, so people with big eyes and they show emotion. We all feel the same, but showing our emotion, it can vary from people to people. And if we look at the next picture, I don't know if you met or you know, that's a picture taken from the summit that was JS. And if you look I think it's Arisha, I think her name is Arisha, you can see her big eyes, lots of emotion. And small eyes, they are emotional, but they show less emotion. And there's another color to add if you're asking who is using more emotion, people with brown eyes or people with light colored eyes, who uses more emotion, people with brown eyes or people with light colored eyes? Yes, Peter, you're right. People with brown eyes use more emotion, darker, and us. Maybe you can't see the color of my eyes so well, but if we talk about colors of eyes, which eye color is supposed to be the nicest color, the beautifulest, the most beautiful eye color? Peter says blue, Nancy says green. So Nancy is right. Green eyes are recognized as the most beautiful colors. And yes, Lisa, you wanted to ask something?
I do. My question
Yes,
for you, Eytan, is are the people with large eyes and brown eyes actually more emotional, or are they perceived as more emotional?
great question. They are perceived more emotional, and they are more emotional. They generally use lots of emotion. Also, generally, they are more emotional. And people like me, okay, me that have, I'm talking about me, but we have more, are less emotional. And also, when we talk about color of eyes and emotion, you can also take it to different parts. If we take the Scandinavian countries, Russian countries, the South Africans. I'm talking about like me that came from Latvia and so-called, or from England. One part came from England. We show less emotion as we are, and we usually lighter colored eyes. So there is a connection with that as well. And there's also, when we talked about the face and body language, we talk about more than 200 features. We have 100 facial features, but also our body language can tell us how emotional we are. So we can actually learn how to read the face, but we have to take to account also the body. We cannot separate them, but we can if we I'm now having a meeting with I'm gonna put Sawabi, if it's okay, Sawabi, I'm gonna put you. רגע, second, add pen. Okay, if we look at, how do I say the name right? Sarabi, how do I say it right?
Saurabh.
Sorub. If we look
Yeah.
at Sorub, okay, if we look at his features, Lisa, first of all, Sorob's eyes are very, very big. Okay, the eyes are very big. So Sorab uses lots of emotion. He's a very emotional person. He's very open, and it also means that he doesn't hide what he feels. I mean, when he feels something, he brings it out. He doesn't keep it behind. By the way, if we talk about Sorab, it's okay that I'm going to read you for a second because I'm going. So you can also know, and we're going to learn about it also today. For example, when Sorab feels that he's right, we cannot argue with him. When Saul feels that he's right about something, he goes all the way. And that's it's not difficult for us to understand that. We will learn today. You do take upon yourself a lot. You can be a great leader. You are a person that loves to help people and to bring them up, and you love action, and you also a very very physical person. When I talk about physical, you should do sports. I don't know if you do sports or another and are that you be very good at sports, and also to bring lots of you're very you never rest. So a person like you that never rest, to bring you have to do lots of sports to calm you down because you have lots of energy. You like fire. You're full of energy. So people who are like fire and full of energy, they have to things that settle down, calm them down a bit. So you're very very energetic. Am I right? And by the way, you can
Yeah.
read body language. Everyone can read. Did Saurabh agree with us? Although he does like this, it's like the Indians. But did Saurabh agree with us?
Absolutely, absolutely. Everything you said was totally true. I literally do a lot of physical activities, like go to the gym, I run, I do swimming, I practice martial arts. So there are a lot of physical activities. I cannot sit at one place, and do something. I like to travel, move from here and there. So yes, you're absolutely right, Ethan. Whatever you said.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So,
So,
Ethan,
yes.
my question was not totally disinterested. I have tiny blue eyes. And the one thing that other people say about me is how expressive and emotional I am.
Wait,
So
wait, wait. Let me put you, if it's okay. Add replace pen. It's okay. Can you take out your eyes?
my
Great.
eyes,
So,
right?
yeah. So first of all, if you guys noticed, maybe your eyes are small, and that's what I said. Your eyes can be small, yes, small, but you're very, very expressive. You can see the expressiveness when you talk. You're full of energy, you're full of heart. So what we can see, and that's how the body language and the face reading goes. If I look at you, if I look at the picture and I say, what do I see about Lisa? So first of all, I see that you are a very open person. Why are you very open? If you look at your mouth is very big, and it doesn't mean that people who are big mouth talk so much. It's usually people who are very, yeah, no, but are very, very warm. They're very very helpful, very warm, love talking to people, love lots of energy. And you might have the small eyes. You like me. I also have very small eyes, and I'm very emotional and very expressive. But generally, when you meet someone, and I meet someone like you, I'd say, wow, you have lots of energy. But if we take Sorab, and you are more controlled with your energy and with your emotion than Sorab. It doesn't mean that you don't have, but that's the way we can actually take few, and we read the body language and we look at the person. And if it's okay, I'll say a few things about you as well, if it's fine with you, Lisa.
Yes, absolutely. Let me just add something. I put in the chat bundles of behaviors. I'm really having trouble listening to you. I resist it because by looking at one feature, it's hard for me to sort of classify people. And I know you don't do that. You wouldn't have written books about it, right? But it's every time somebody looks at somebody or does an astrological sign and analysis or something like that, it just kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm trying to just listen and be
Yeah, no.
attentive.
So first of all, relax. You could see relax, and yeah, yeah. So what's happening? First of all, true or false? How long does it take us to actually read someone or make an opinion about someone? It's less than 7 seconds. It's like this. Now, secondly, it doesn't. When I communicate with someone, I don't just look at his facial features. I look at his body language, and together with the body language, with the micro emotions, with everything together, we know about a person as much as we can. And then when we talk with him, we get more information. What I'm saying, we are human scanners. We are as we are have this great ability to understand people. So when I meet someone, for example, I met you, and it's the first time that we are talking. I see that from one side you're very, very emotional. From the second part, you do contain the emotion, but you do think out of the box, and you are very. You have this money doesn't drive you, and you are a very sensitive person to others, and and you are very, very helpful as a person. You love helping people. So I know this by just watching your face. I read your body language, I get more information. So together I can understand, and what I do is drive the information, what I want to tell you, not from a place of just putting out what I want to say, listening to what you said. And what your face says. And together I have a great, great, great language. I can understand you and relate to you in your in your way of wanting to listen. So what we're talking about is a special tool that helps us understand people better. And once we understand people better, we can deliver the information in the best way that they can receive it. And then we win our communications. We improve our communications. Our communication style becomes the best that can be. So that's what it's all about. And let's continue. Let's learn more. Teach as much as possible today as possible. And um, by the way, so when we talk about bigger eyes, usually they're more visible, emotionally expressive. Their feelings are showing much faster. They can be high sensitivity to environment. Smaller eyes can be more internal emotional process, less emotional leakage, more contained expression. It doesn't mean that we are not emotional. It just means that we understand and we read the people and we take as much information as possible. And if we what we when we read the eyes, we read the energy. Now, I'm going to give another thing that I hope Maria agrees with that. But it's also a very a great tool. Who's more likely to take anything upon himself without all without the knowledge, a wide-faced person or a narrow-faced person? Now it's very important before we continue to explain that it doesn't mean that when I'm going to say what I'm going to say, that what the width of the face tells about how a person is confident. Confidence comes from the way we are brought, the place that we live, our parents, our wife, our husbands, our kids, our work environment, how much money we make, how we woke up today. We can wake up one day feeling with no energy, things that we cannot control. We are driven, we're talking about, if we talk about difficult times, um, I live in a country who is going through difficult times, but compared to 2 months ago, 2 months ago it was worse. So today it's better times. So um, we have lots of things that are taking charge of our confidence. But there's very interesting thing about the width of the face that explains how we take upon ourselves anything. And what do I mean? I'll give you an example. About 6 years ago, exactly before the COVID, a friend of mine lives in Batumi in Georgia, Batumi, and he has a he received a very big sales opportunity to sell about 600 apartments, small apartments for a special price. And he phoned me and he said, Eytan, I was giving this great opportunity to sell 600 houses, flats in here, and I need someone in Israel. We are very good friends. Will you be able, Eytan, will you be able to help me and take it upon yourself? And I say to myself, first of all, I'm capable. I have the capability to do so. So I came with that feeling that I can do it. I didn't say straight yes. I said, I'll have to come to Batumi to see the place and whatsoever. But the feeling that I can take it upon myself is it is something that carries me throughout my life. And when we talk about people that have very wide face, the face in comparison, it doesn't have to be very big face, but if we look at my face is actually wide. And when we talked about Surab, he has very wide face. The width of the face tells us a lot about how a person takes things upon himself. So I'm going to show you again this pictures. And we have Churchill, and we're not talking about Churchill being fat or thin. We're talking about the part. When we look at a person, we look at the part where at this part of, not if he's fat or thin. We're talking about the width. And if we look at Winston Churchill, his face is very wide. And if we look at what's his name, Adrian, his face is very narrow. So which one will take upon himself, let me go back, which one is likely to take upon himself without all the knowledge? A person with thin face or wide face? What do you say? Thin face, wide? Yes, Harriet? Welcome, Harriet, and I agree. A person with very wide face usually will take upon himself. Um, he has that feeling that he can do it. He sometimes make mistakes, and if we look at these also from Keynes, we have I think Arisha again. She has very wide face, and she will take upon herself, and a narrow face will first learn. Now, how does it work? We're talking about a wider face tends to project a faster action orientation, decisiveness. She or will be more decisiveness. They'll go for it before they know the information. They'll be more willing to jump in, and they have more confidence in taking charge. I'll figure it out throughout along the way. And a person who has a narrow face, usually, first of all, he has the confidence to say, well, I have to learn the topic and then I'll decide if I take it on. So generally, he'll be more cautious. He will analyze before he's taking an action, and he will want, or she will want, more information before she takes the information upon herself. And who here thinks the wider face is more likely to say, like you say, I may not know everything yet, but I'll take this on and I'll figure it out. So if we have here lots of faces, and I'll look at the gallery of the great faces that I have here. If we look at Harriet herself as well, she has very wide face. She'll take upon herself. If we have Peter, for example, is not wide and not very wide. So it means he knows when to take upon himself and when not. He will not take everything upon himself. If we look at Belinda, she will also she doesn't take everything upon herself. She will first learn the thing and then she will take herself upon. Libby will take upon herself. She has the confidence to take. Jaslyn will also, she will learn the topic and then she said, well, I can do it. And once she learns, she'll do it greatly. And Edwin will first say, yes, I'll be able to do it. I have no problems. It'll be very easily for me. And the way you people say, and we talk about Nancy, it's also sometimes she will and sometimes she won't, but she'll generally go for I will try and see how it goes. So that's generally. Let's go back to the presentation. I want to show you more things. And if we look, if we had a summit this week, if we look at what's his name? I forgot his name. You can see that he has very, very wide face.
Is
So he
is
does take upon,
Ian
yes,
Ian his
that's
Ian Stephens.
yeah. So Ian takes upon himself. He will take everything upon himself. He's not scared to take it upon himself. Things. Now this is a great, 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 great part, and and we'll ask you people. Do you agree with it? But look at my questions. Um, you have people, and in my family, all my daughters are like that. Do you know those who automatically will say no to you even before they hear the idea? We have people that have like this mechanism that first say no to everything. It doesn't mean that they will not do it, but they have this mechanism to say no. You have these people that will say yes to you, and at the end, they will do whatever they want. Okay, they won't go into a fight with you. They're usually very diplomatic, and you have those that are capable of arguing, especially when they feel that they are right. Do you believe that you can find out who are these people? So I'm going to show on you guys. I don't know. First of all, we start with Sarab. Remember, Sarab said that when he feels that he's right, and he will argue for what he feels that he's right, and he agreed. Now look at Sarab's chin. Okay, if you look at his chin, it's first of all very wide and very straight. Can you see it? Very wide and very straight. People like Sarab are usually fighters. When I mean fighters, they will fight for a cause. They don't like, when they feel that they are right, They'll go with what they feel that is right. And if I come to Sarub and I say to him, Sarub, you don't know what you're talking about. Why? You know, by the way, which is amazing, I used to have a very circular, it used to be very circular chin. Now it became very straight in the past few years. Now, if we look at Edwin, wait, let me see it, Edwin. I think it's very circular. Edwin, yes, it's circular or straight?
I don't know. I think it's sharp for me. If I
Sharp,
shave, if I do not shave, you can see it's circular.
okay, so what it means, Edwin, is more he can, he will agree with you, and then he will say that he agrees with you, but then he'll do the things the way he decides to do. He doesn't go to stupid fights. If we look at Peter, by the way, if you look at Peter, he's got a very big chin. Most of the sport people who do lots of sport have this chin. By the way, Peter, I don't know if you do sport or used to do sports, but people who are very energetic, lots of energy, they usually have this chin. Also, Peter, by the way, if we talk about Peter, Peter is a very long, this area is very long. What the Chinese say that from age 50 to 75 will be your best years. That's what the Chinese say. So I don't know how right they are, but your chin tends to be more sharp. Usually people with sharp chin are more inclined to say, well, let me check. They won't say yeah, they first say no, not from being anti. They first say, let me check. If I look at Belinda, it looks like she's very straight. So when Belinda feels that she's right, she'll go with the righteousness. If we look at Nancy, it looks like it's circular. So that means that you can sometimes you'll feel you'll make it that you agree with thing, and then you go your own way. If you look at Lisa, I think wait, I have to look more. I have to put in pen because I have to look. Yeah, Lisa, first of all, would say. Well, I have to check the things, see if everything is okay. It'll be not being anti. It's like my daughters. And if I have to persuade Lisa, I have to go from a place of emotion and being accurate. Because if I tell bullshit to Lisa, she will say no immediately. Uh, Harriet is first of all, if you look at Harriet, by the way, Harriet has got a very, if you look at the chin, it comes out, it protrudes a lot outwards. People who don't give up, people who don't give up, usually who keep on trying. That's the kind of chin, and it's also very sharp. So you don't like to be told what to do. You have to be in the place of telling others what to do. Um, if we have Jaslyn, I think Jaslyn, I think it's circular. I think it's circular. So wait, let me see. I'll put you, wait. I think it is circular. So you are, you have lots of pleasing. You love pleasing people, and sometimes it can come, it can be against you, against you. And if we talk about Yabi, Yabi is circular. So let's go back to the presentation and see how accurate I was. It's not that I'm a magician. If we look at what's his name? I forgot his name on the right. He was the biggest boxer of all time.
Tyson.
No,
Mike
it's
Yeah,
Muhammad
Tyson.
Ali
Mike
or
Tyson.
Mike
You
Tyson.
can see his chin is very
Yeah.
wide and straight. If we look at Britney Spears, it's very sharp. And if you look at this guy, it's very circular. So he on the left, it's round chin, is very flexible, very pointed, is more defensive. First has to be seen, and very straight is very fighting spirit. So we can understand very easily what kind of person we are facing. And if we look back at Keynes and we look at Wendy, the president of VSAI, and if you look at the right, Alan is Wendy's husband, and he has very straight. and I think he's a martial arts master. And he, when he feels that he's right, he goes with his righteousness. If you look here, she has very sharp chin, and if you look at Wendy, it's very circular. So round chin, more flexible, pointed chin, more defensive, and straight chin, more of a fighting spirit. Um, that's concerning what we talk about face reading. Of course, I've developed these online classes, and if you're interested, at the end I'll show you. But I want to show you some more things when we talk about um, a micro emotion. And what is micro emotion? Well, first of all, when we talk about micro emotions, and it's a very, very important part of this chapter that I love also talking about. Um, I will explain it to you. About 14 years ago, I came to a meeting with this CEO of a big real estate company. And when I came to the CEO, I came with something that I'm not sure that the people use much today, but I came with a business card. And on the business card was written Eytan Segev, profiler, face reader, body language, micro emotions, and human HI, human intelligence. And this CEO went like this. The first he went like this, and I said, Hanan, I understand. He didn't control this emotion. This emotion, there's a micro emotion, said that he's actually is laughing at me in a way that what I do is not important. So I read this emotion and I said, well, I know that you don't believe in what I do. Let me read you. I read his face. He bought the whole company that was there in, and I bought and I read their faces, and I worked with this company for 2 years. And what I'm talking about now, I'm talking about micro emotion. All of us, when we feel something, our body language portrays it outwards. So we have more than 7 micro emotions. For example, my daughter just came from the army, and she has a new group of soldiers that came in. And I said to her, how are the new group of girls? So she said they're nice. But she went with a face like disgusted. So I said, Yali, who didn't you like? Oh, Daddy, stop talking, stop reading me, stop. She started complaining. So we have what we call now micro emotions. So I will show you a short part from a film that you must watch, which is called Lie to Me. And who developed this was he passed away now, and we're going to see this part of the scene of the micro expressions. So the series, by the way, I'll put a link to the first year of the series. What's important about this series, it actually teaches you how to read people by meaning of reading when they lie. So we have a group. We have a group. I'll put the 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 chapter this chapter of the school now of this sessions. Now I have a question for you. Who 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 actually what do you actually when someone approaches you, what do you see first when someone is approaching you? What do you say? What do you see first when someone approaches you? What do you see first when someone approaches you? Smile, color. Sorab looks like his eyes. So the first thing that you see, by the way, and I'm going to share it with you, and it's very, very important, is the hands. And why the hands are the first thing that you see? Open hands, first of all. Um, wait, stop share. The first thing that you see is the hand, because we are very, very, as people, we are very survival. We when someone approaches us, and we hide our hands, the person feels insecure. Maybe we're having a weapon in our hand. It goes back many years ago. And that's why it's very important when we talk to people, when we lecture, to show our hands. In the United States, they did they noticed that the jury uh, tends to put people in jail, the people that hide their hands. So it's very, very important to show your hands. It's also very important to show your hands also on Zoom. Why on Zoom it's important? We usually tend to not show our hands. If you look at everyone, we don't show our hands because we can use the phone, we can type, we can do many things. If you want to create, when we lecture on Zoom to people that we want to connect with them better, try and lift your hands. I put my hands at least quite high, even exaggerating with my hands, because it shows people that exactly, it shows that we are hands up and we don't have anything to hide. And open hands communicate trust, transparency, safety. Um, when we hide the hands, we create distance. We create a situation that people might feel uncomfortable with us. So when you talk to crowds of people, is it good to use the hands? Yes, it's good to use the hands. And it's very important when we talk to try and deliver. Like, I'm so glad and happy to be here today. When I do this, I actually strengthen the idea. But on the other side, I can say, for example, Adrian, do you want to say something? Uh, I can do this with my hand and actually blocking the person. I can use my hands the other way. I can say that everything that you write and written is great, and I love what you write, but I'm actually saying the opposite. Our body language tells what we feel, and it's very, very important to notice. And if your audience cannot see your hands, trust drops. Remember that if your audience cannot see your hands, trust drops. And we are going to talk now about micro positive and micro negative signs. I'm going to show you a few slides about micro positive and micro negative, and what exactly is micro positive and micro negative. When you read people, you need to read what they feel, what they have in their mind. For example, if we take Yabi, for example, now, what if he puts his head over his mouth? Okay, so first of all, he's listening, so he's not hiding anything. But when someone puts their hands on his mouth, depends on what situation, it can tell us about something that's going through his mind. For example, when I'm sitting like this, and my hands are like here, like this, it's usually I'm listening, but I'm checking if what's said is right. If I'm touching my nose, am I saying that I'm lying? Is it a sign of lying? It depends in what situation. We have to be very, very careful. We can judge people very, very quickly and make mistakes. It depends in what situation. I might be, the weather is making me itchy. But if we remember Pinocchio, there is a connection. When someone lies or when he's very, very excited, it can touch his nose. But it depends in what situation. So I'm gonna show you a few signs about understanding about these micro and positive and negative. It's very important to read them because um, it's very, very essential when you guys lecture or when you talk to people. So when you need to understand that there are, for example, each body language cue into two buckets. You have a micro positive or a micro negative. A micro positive, like you like it's written, micro positive, and micro negative is negative. So a micro positive sign, interest, curiosity, engagement, is closing the gap, and micro negative is going back. Okay, it's not engaged, is nervous, is bored. Eitan has been talking too much. So when you see, for example, shame, is it a micro positive or micro negative? It's negative, yes. When people get embarrassed, they often touch the side of their forehead. This is a micro negative, exactly. You see this lots of time when people are embarrassed. Even animators recognize this as a universal shameful sign. By the way, am looking at what Harriet wrote. Is there no cultural difference in facial expression? What about example cultures? Who do you use a lot of eye contacts? I'll talk about eye contacts later, in few minutes. But there is, and I'll talk about the Japanese in few minutes as well. Um, Blocking. What does it mean when, like it's written, blocking? When you talk to someone and you block, is it a positive sign or a negative sign? It is micro negative. A person might be listening. We have to be very careful. A person, when I was at junior high school, we had to sit like this in class. So we have lots of people who are engaged, who come to as audience, and they can sit like this, and you can feel that they are blocking and they're not blocking, but it does come as blocking. It comes as blocking when someone feels disengaged or uncomfortable or is cold. He might be using blocking. And when I read people, when I come to read them, they might block themselves because they are trying to conceal what they're feeling, and it's a micro negative emotion. Blocking is when you cover block part of your body. Um, the head tilt. What does the head tilt convey? Is it positive or negative when I tilt my head? Very positive, by the way. It's one of the strongest signs. When you talk to someone and he goes like this is a great sign. When you talk to someone and you listen to what you say and you tilt your head, it's a great sign. It makes the person feel very comfortable, as if been listened to. He's been listened to. It's one of the best, and it's very simple. We just have to tilt our head. When we tilt our head when someone is talking to us, it's a simple sign, but it makes a rapport, a very strong rapport to what's felt. Um, I'll show you this one. Uh, Share. Hold on. In, when someone is blocking his mouth, what does it mean? Is it positive or negative? Belinda said she does it all the time, and it's great. It's super positive. It's great. Yes, like you did. It's blocking. The mouth cover is also a common thing. When you feel embarrassed, a kid, when he tells a lie, he does it. They frequently tell a lie and then they cover the mouth. Whenever we try to keep something, we cover our own mouth. By the way, lots of politicians, when they talk and they don't want people to, the microphones, when they talk, they try and hide their mouth, and it can also portray that someone is lying. It can even portray that someone's lying. Depends on what situation, because Yabi wasn't talking, so he had no reason to feel that he's lying. But if I'm talking and I'm putting my hands like this and I'm talking to you guys, it doesn't sound good. It's like a bad sign. Um, the next one, it's also a very good sign or bad sign. Let's see what you say. Wait, this one. When you're going with your eyebrows raised, what do you say? What do you say about the eyebrow raise? Positive, yes. Not only it's a positive sign, by the way, um, lots of charismatic leaders use the eyebrows a lot. By the way, who's supposed to be the greatest president, charisma-wise, in the United States? They say Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was very charismatic, and when he talked to people, he raised his eyebrows a lot, and it is yes. Yeah, they're very shy. Harriet, you're right. The Japanese, she said, They cover it because they are, as people, they're more closed up and they're shy. Exactly. Yeah, they're more and they're more sense. I'm not talking about the Japanese. I'm talking about the whole world except the Japanese, because the Japanese also making big changes. Okay, if you talked about the Japanese, I'll say something very interesting. Today, in shops, they have every 5 minutes a ring, and when the ring comes on, they smile because they don't use facial features much, so they are learning, for the West to smile more, to use more facial facial features. So they do this. The eyebrow rise, it is something that they do. It's a very positive sign. It makes a great micro positive emotion. And whenever someone is very, very engaged, this is very good. And we have to show this leader. I don't have someone who uses hands more than Bill Clinton, not Bill Clinton, Donald Trump. And this time, look at my face, what I want to say to you guys. Hands tell us a lot about the person's thinking. And if we talk about Donald Trump, he uses lots of hands and motions, and using his hands, lots of hand motions, and it's a very, very Western cultured way of doing things. And we are reaching very close to the end, and I want to share with you one of the most important things about as lecturers, and most of you guys are lecturers, and I also spoke about it in now in the summit that we had this few days ago. And my question to you guys, do you know, as a speaker's secret, what is F-15? Do you know what's the F-15? And not the plane, not the aeroplane. What is the F-15? Exactly, Peter. Yeah, the F-15 is not the plane. The first 15 minutes, the first 15 seconds, the first 15 minutes in our lectures, audience decide, do we trust you? Are you relevant? Should we pay attention? Do we emotionally connect to what Eytan is about to say? The first 15 earns attention, and final 15 the final 15 minutes, the final 5 minutes, what will we remember? What emotion do I leave the people with? What do we take? What will I recommend the speaker? The final 15 creates the transformation. It creates what happened. Did you enjoy what's happening? How was the lecture and everything? The final 15 minutes is very, very important. And awareness is very, very, very important for lecturing. And now we have this like 8 minutes. So I always love giving the 8 minutes for questions, and um, not only questions, even to go like a quick. We are now like 11 people, and I do want, if you have a question, for example, I'm starting with Edwin, if it's okay. Um, are you taking something from this session, and what are you taking? Like a quick, half a minute or a minute to say, and and I'll go one, like quickly, to have this like a powerful ending to this session. So I'm holding you, Edwin, first because you came, yeah, first on the, and now I can't see you. Okay, so I'll put the next one is up. I'll put Yabi. Yabi, do you have a question or you have something to take from this session?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Eytan, thank you so much. I really love body language. The facial expression, micro expression. Um, in a way, maybe 10 years back, I was exposed to one book called Definitive Book of Body Language by Alan Pease. So that's how the first time I knew about body language. Before that, I was thinking, what is this? I hear about English language, Chinese language. What is this body language? So after that, yes, I love observing people. And yes, for this one, the facial, yeah, this part, the strategy, this is the emotion, this is the action. So that's new to me. And yes, I'm learning, observing. I love doing that. And thank you so much for your input
Pleasure,
for
pleasure.
today.
By the
Yeah,
way, you
yeah,
noticed at the beginning, Yabi's hands. He was excited, okay? Part of the
yeah.
excitement. Let's have
Thank you. Yeah.
Jaslyn. Pleasure. Jaslyn, what you taking? Feel you like something, or if you have a question, I'm here.
Thank you, Etienne. Um, there is so much to take in, but I really enjoyed the 7 body language cues. I'm going to use those on my children.
By the way, guys, if you
What are
listen
you
to
not telling me?
Jaslyn English, I can spend hours just listening to your English. It's like
Thank you.
perfect.
Yeah, so the 7 body language cues, and I'm going to explore a little more about the F15 because that's super important, I think, when you are delivering. So I'm going to look.
Thank you.
But can I just quickly say, Sabine, can you put in the chat the book by Alan Pease, please? Thank you. Thank you, Etienne. It's great.
Yes, Belinda, you taking something in or
Oh,
questions?
me. Yeah, I have found this really interesting. I found the bit about the hounds quite interesting, particularly on Zoom, because we are all just like from here up, and it's like, you know, how do you navigate that without looking like a, a puppet kind of thing? So that's really interesting. I talk to my clients quite a lot via Zoom, so I will endeavor to make myself a bit more animated for them.
Right.
But also the F15, I thought that was the first time I've heard that, which is surprising. But the first 15 seconds, the first 15 minutes, and then that last 15 to lock everything away. I will definitely be having a look at that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy.
Hi, yes. I work with people living with advanced dementia. That's my specialty. So I depend on the micro expressions and and it's really anchored some of what I already knew. And also, I learned more about how to recognize stress or perhaps illness. And it definitely will help in my work. I do a lot of presentations and workshops, and the F-15s was perfect. Reading strategy and emotion from the audience. I learned so much. Thank you. This was amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. John, we haven't spoken. I can say a few words about you. Okay, first of all,
Okay.
um, uh,
Okay. I
you
came in a
enjoy
bit late.
no,
Can you
no
hear me?
problem. Yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
good.
Uh, yeah, how did you enjoy
Great.
yourself? By the way, for you and for you all guys, you can have a free session with me. I'll send you a link to read. I can read you like
Us all,
privately. It will be with pleasure. Uh,
us old guys. You know, I'm 75 young, so I'm not old. I'm middle aged as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it's interesting because we've just had a starting to do some work for the Ministry of Health here because I live in the Maldives with my wife Fatima. And one of the things they wanted for us to do was stress management. And then you came up with the eyes with the lower thingy bobs. I've never thought of that or anything. It's the first time I've actually seen it, which I will start instigating and actually looking, even though being a Muslim, and this is a 100% Muslim country, the Maldives, we don't look at women in their eyes. As a man, I'm not allowed to. Men, I can, that's no problem. But we have a sort of like a little bit of a culture here with that. So it's actually if I'm going to look in somebody's eyes like that, a woman, I would have to ask permission. You understand me? It's like I'm an NLP master, a trainer, NLP trainer.
Yeah.
So if I do anything with women, we ask permission before. Can I touch your hand or anything like that, just to make sure that it's okay. But it's various in F15. I've heard something, but I thought it was like the first 10 seconds or the first 10 minutes or something like that. So to put it in that perspective, I'm a member of MAPS, which is Malaysia, and MAPSO, which is
Yeah.
Maldives. So we do quite a bit of speaking as well. So it's and presentation. So having that idea and locking it in 15 minutes and 15 minutes would help us immensely in that aspect of our training, our facilitation, and everything else. So well done. I don't know if this is this the first of one or is it just a one-off or
Wow. Did you read my mind or not? You read my mind because I was going
yeah,
to say, now I'm going to do at the end of next month a
yeah.
session that will be especially on lies, on lying, a whole session
Ah,
of how to learn about reading people that, we all tend to lie sometime. So it will
yeah.
be dedicated to becoming lie detectors. So I will give a session, and I also have online courses and lots of courses I'll put in the group and send to you all guys in your time. I'm not pressed.
Right,
And by the way,
right.
if you want me to give lectures at different maps, I love, I've been to Cairns and I met lots of you guys from maps. Great people. I think
Yeah.
Malaysians are incredible, incredible. Although you sound so pommy, it's pommy. I come from South Africa.
I
We call the English, we call them pommies. Thank you.
I'm actually from the UK,
Yeah,
so
that's why I said pommies.
yeah, pardon me.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
thank you. Thank you.
that puts everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Peter, where are you from, Peter, by the way?
South Africa, actually, as you were. I haven't been to Israel in about 30 years, though, so I need to get around there again when things have become a bit more quiet. But what I'm taking out is I still need to work on my online presence. I prefer to be live in front of people, and a lot of these skills would actually be immensely useful in reading people in the online context. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. First 15, always important, but I think the online kind of presence story, that's what I'm working on. So thank you.
Great, great, Peter. Great. Yes, Edwin. I'll get Harriet and then you. Right. Okay. Yes, Harriet.
Okay, so what I really appreciated was everything, of course, but what I wanted to ask a question about, and thank you so much, Eytan, is two questions. One is my eyes are small, but I believe I show emotions well, or a lot, and yet when I smile in a picture, I have no more eyes showing. Do you have any comment about that?
First of all, we are competing in the same field. If you look at my eyes, we also, also a very we are these are the eyes of very analytical people. People that analyze a lot. It's really goes to being analytical. Emotion wise, we are very emotional. We don't have a problem with emotion, but it's what it means that we keep more locked in the emotion. We less show emotion. It's like we have this extra skin. It's like, when you look at a camera, at the lens, and the lens itself is more covered. It's like the same way, the more covered, and then it takes us more time to show a bit the emotion. But we are all very, very emotional.
Okay, thank you. And the other question is, you mentioned about in the last few years that your chin changed. My question is, can actions and behaviors change your physique, just like food can change your body, or food can change your eyes? I know that. And, you know, the skin tone. But can
we
a
can.
structural thing change by
I don't
action?
know.
Because how'd your chin change?
I didn't, you know, by the way, but when you talk about my chin, I didn't realize that my chin changed. I used to, you know, say to everyone that I'm starting to make a change, and then they said to me, "Yes, you saw me make a change, and suddenly your chin is straight." I didn't realize it, but we have a whole. If you heard about face yoga, face yoga is by doing facial training, actual training, physical training, you can actually change lots of facial features. I'm not talking about all the plastic surgery. You can make changes and changes. I didn't realize it, and it came, you know, it came to be without me knowing. And the Chinese believe that if you take out moles in different, you can improve your luck. You can make your luck better. The
If
Chinese
you take a what?
the Chinese believe that if you take out moles, you have, you know, moles
Oh, if you
or
take moles out of your face. I see.
yeah,
I
it can
see.
make changes. Yeah, yeah.
So did you do
We
the
all
face yoga? Did you do the
I
face
don't do
yoga
it,
or
but
how did
but
yours change?
no, I didn't. I don't know why. I don't know how it changed.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Edwin.
Yes, Ethan, thank you very much. I actually have a question. I deal with a
Yes.
lot of Japanese and Koreans and also Chinese. And in our line of work, there is something in Asia we call saving face. We do not be try to be authentic in a business environment. We try to sort of put on a makeup, you know, when we deal with in business. And I do that all the time, and I see that all the time when I'm working with Japanese, especially. They tend to be over polite. They they tend to show the best part of themselves. So all of us are very natural and authentic when we come on a webinar like this. But if I were to be in a totally Japanese or totally Korean audience, everybody is putting up a face. So how do you negotiate that based on your background? And I know you deal with a lot of Westerners, but I know that you also study 龟谷子, which I
Yeah.
do, and I really appreciate your Western perspective. So how do you deal with this?
First of all, like emotions, the East, you know, if you talk about the Asians, they tend to, like you said, keep the emotions inside. So it's very difficult even to see a micro emotion, but they do have micro emotions. We have to learn to be more in a place of watching, to watch it, because it shows less than the Western when we talk about micro emotions. Secondly, you might, and I'm going to talk about in my lie detector lesson, might even shake them up a bit. So you know, you might have to do and like ask them how do they deal, for example, with a failure. So you can see the way they react to failure, and even, I'm not saying irritate them, but don't be all the time nice, 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 because then it's all the time acting. It's like shaking the cage a bit. You have to sometimes, and it's very difficult. It's an art to try and bring them to be authentic, and not only happy, happy, happy. You put pressure, and if you negotiate, try and see how they behave, and how they act to extreme. Like you ask a extreme question, something that can irritate them, and then you see how they, you know, but you have to do it very carefully. So it's like doing a checklist of certain questions that will move them out of the not happy zone, that comfortable zone, and then you'll see how they react.
which give me a follow-up question. Maybe you can help us prepare in the next lesson. You got me hooked already. So I'm going to sign up for the lie detector. For example, once you detect that they are lying or they are not, how do you build the instant rapport from your, based on that knowledge that you gain?
Um, I'm sorry, I want to answer. It's a long question, long answer, but I can say that to make a rapport, we copy the body language. We copy the whole body language. We even copy the way they talk. We even copy the way they say yes. And when you start taking charge of their conversation and they start copying you, you will see that there's a shift in the meeting, because at the beginning you will copy them. You copy all the time to make the engagement, to make the connection, to make the rapport. And at a certain time, if you are powerful, you will start taking control and they will start copying you. The minute they start copying your body language, you hook them. But it's we'll talk in the next lesson. We'll talk about it as well. And also in my online courses, I'll send you guys to see. They also have answers about that. And anyone else wants to say that I missed or something, wants to say something?
Thank you.
Pleasure. I think we have Sabib to finish, I think. Yeah.
Hi.
Wait, Sabib, and then Harriet, and then we'll
Good. And there is a lot I'm taking away from this session today. In fact, I came with an open mind, and there's a lot of observations, a lot of things like, the eyes. How do you spot the stress? I've written down notes. Again, the chin, the sharp chin, the wide chin, the micro positive, micro negatives. I think it will help me out a lot while dealing with people, while talking to them, and especially with the coaching clients. And yeah, pretty good session, in fact.
Thank you. By the way, if any of you, Saib, do you want me to have a session in your chapter in that? With pleasure. Be delighted, to give some more information, and I'll send you my info to everyone. We'll wrap it with Harriet wanted to ask something more, and then we close the session. Yes.
Oh, hi. I forgot to add that although I'm American and I currently live in Ohio, I lived many years in Japan, speak Japanese. So if anyone has a question like the gentleman before, Edwin, and you want to chat offline, happy to do so. The speaking engagements have to be structured completely differently with that audience, and that's why I always ask the cultural questions, Eytan. But I think one thing I took away from you is that even with different cultures and populations, that the expressions of the face are universal. That's a big takeaway from me. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll wrap the first of all gallery. Thank you. First of all, thank you. I enjoyed myself. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I will be giving sessions, carry on, giving sessions. You can go into, I'll send you my site and info. You can say how great it was. I love, I'm a person, I'm a I'm a yellow. We will talk about the yellow communication style. I love when people say how great I was. So you can write, things if you wish in their LinkedIn and whatever you want. And have a great weekend. We're going into weekend, and then let have a great weekend. And I'll keep the group. The master. I'll start doing. I've been doing in Hebrew for years, and I'll do it also in English and with pleasure. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Eytan. Lovely to see everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Session. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.